Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 4, I think it is.
Yes, episode 4.
Of the Ballroom Breakdown with Dana and Megan. We are so excited to recap this week. This week it was Disney night on Dancing with the Stars, and there was no shortage of excitement.
Yes.
A lot of craziness happening, a lot of new opinions that were forming. So we are so excited to bring it to all of you guys. I'm Dana Searles.
And I'm Megan McPherson. I do have to preface by saying that I did not stay up last night. I did not stay up late like we have the last couple of weeks to watch. I know you did, Dana. So I had to take my break today, kind of get caught up on everything. But I do feel like I have a good sense of the dances. The one thing I just didn't get to see was some of those interviews, some of those scores. So I'm going to have to kind of lean on you for some of that. But it was so fun. I love Disney. Would you consider yourself a Disney adult, Dana?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. No hate to Disney adults, but I mean, I didn't know
you.
like 80% of the songs that they danced to.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I knew some of them. And don't get me wrong, love Disney.
Yeah.
Love all the dances, love the theme. I just don't think I'm as passionate. I don't think I can qualify as a Disney adult quite yet.
I will say I do feel like I was a little bit biased in the sense that I liked the dances, that I knew the songs more.
Yeah.
But that's just because I just knew kind of what they were trying to go for with this, or if I had seen that movie.
Are you a Disney adult?
No, but I do. It was 70 years of Disneyland, and I grew up on the West Coast. I love Disneyland, so I have been several times, and I haven't been in several years, but I do love Disney.
Okay,
it's good.
I love that. And for those who don't know, a Disney adult is an adult who just loves any and all Disney things, which is a lot of people.
Or
honestly,
that will go to Disneyland with like no
majority.
shame. So,
Yeah, exactly. We do want to address something before we move on. We are getting a new roof.
Yeah.
So that is being worked on right now in the studio. If you hear some weird noises, it's not us, it's the roof.
Yeah.
We apologize, but hopefully we can just power through and they'll be done pretty soon.
Yeah, power through, exactly, like they're doing on the roof.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so let's start off by jumping into some dances because we got a lot to get to, a lot of thoughts and feelings. So let's start off with the first dance of the night. This is going to be Dylan and Daniela. Now, I think he had one of the best songs. It was Life is a Highway from Cars. So he had a really fun dance. I wrote down in my notes, darn it, I really liked the beginning because we have been some harsh critics of Dylan the entire time. But I have to say, I think this was my favorite dance from him. I think the quick step was awesome. I think he had some great technique. And it was just a fun dance overall because, I mean, life is a highway. How can you not have fun with a dance like that? So he's got the footwork down. He's having a good time. He doesn't look as awkward, in my opinion. Still not my favorite, though. I still think Daniela just runs the show, and I think that really helps him. So nonetheless, I want to give him his flowers, as that was my favorite dance that I've seen from him.
Yeah, very quick thoughts from me. I am pretty critical of Dylan, too. I still think he looks stiff. I think that whatever it is, the like mass appeal for him, I'm just not getting, and I know that's going to be controversial. Fun choreography again. I think best song, like you said. I still just feel like she's dancing around him.
Yep.
Honestly, she dances circles around him. He still looks kind of stiff and awkward to me. But what I will give him is that I think he is. You can tell he's trying really hard with the technique. He's trying to be sharp and clear with his movements, and he does seem like he knows the choreography well. I just still feel like I'm not seeing that wow factor, and I think it comes. Yeah, she's who I watch honestly when they dance. So
Always.
He's not my favorite. I think he's very middle of the pack for me, but I know he's trying.
And I still think he's a fan favorite, so I think he's going to go a really long way, which I don't know how we feel about that. I will say I think I'm starting to warm up to him a little bit. A little bit. I'll give it to him. He's
he's such a sweet guy. So sweet. It's just the dancing that's just not clicking for me.
That roof is really doing something for me right now. I really am sorry. It is very loud.
It is super loud.
But anyway, we'll just keep moving on.
We just got to push through it.
Dylan, I thought he was great. So his scores that he got a 7, an 8, and an 8.
Yeah.
Why are we giving him 8s? I don't think it's time for 8s for him yet. He still needs improvement. Considering some other people didn't get 8s, we'll get to that too.
Yeah.
It's just, no.
Yeah, exactly. And last week they told him he was a leading man. We disagreed with that. I didn't think I saw much leading from him at all. I still think that she leads him very much. And I don't know.
And the comment I wanted to bring up, since Meghan, of course, watched the dances, but in the interview after with Julianne, she said, everyone's surprised you didn't do High School Musical. Of course, Zac Efron's his brother. In the interview, he said, well, if you keep me around next week, I got something special planned for next week. Next week's dedication night. So they bring out a lot of guests, people meaningful in their life.
Yeah.
So there's a chance Zac Efron could be here next week.
True.
And Daniela was like, don't say anything.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that Zac Efron makes an appearance. I'm a Zac Efron fan.
That's what it sounds like. I think he knows too that people are obviously very aware of why. That's a huge reason why he's famous, right? Because he's got a famous brother. So Yeah, I'm excited for that. I did not see that, but that's exciting.
We'll see what he does.
Okay, so next couple that we've got up, one that we love is Danielle and Pasha. I will say, lots of movement to this dance, a little chaotic in my opinion. It was fast, it was quick. There was so much jam-packed into this dance. They were just constantly moving. It was just so fast. And to me, it came off a little bit chaotic, honestly. I don't think that this was her strongest dance. Her arms were a little too sloppy in my opinion. I think that you could tell that she was really trying hard to keep up with the movements, but I felt like she was kind of just, it almost just looked like she wasn't having as much fun and she was just trying really hard to like stay with the movements. And so I don't think that this style of dance, the quick step came as naturally to her. A little clunky, but I still love her. She's fun. She could tell she's just a fan favorite too. So just a little fast, a little chaotic, not her strongest dance in my opinion.
I wrote down the exact same notes. I said I felt like it was a little messy. I felt like it was very quick for her. I think Pasha, I think the choreography was just way too quick for her. I think she could have tamed it down and done a very clean, nice quick step, right? It was quick step, I think. And I think she was strongest when she was in frame. But I think part of that is because Pasha was probably kind of carrying her along with it. But you could tell she was really lagging behind a little bit. I agree with the arms. It was just a little bit flimsy. A really fun dance though.
It was.
I thought it was very
a cute
fun.
concept.
The costumes were adorable.
With the Jungle Book theme.
Yes, and she is, I mean, she's awesome. She has that performance factor. She has that wow factor. But after what she did last week, she just looked so beautiful last week. I think this week was just a little bit of a disappointment because it was so chaotic. And
she's just very beautiful and graceful. And I think with those slower dances, we really get to see that grace. And so with the quicker dances, I think it just feels chaotic, and that doesn't feel like her. She's not like a chaotic person. She doesn't have a chaotic personality. So maybe that's a part of why we just didn't love the dance. But people love her. She's beautiful. So I think she'll continue on for several weeks. I just don't think it was their best dance, and I think that was clear because they ended up in the bottom 3, right?
Yep, they got all 7s, which I think was scored fairly.
Yeah.
I would say it was fair.
Yeah.
I think that bottom 3, I'm glad she stayed. I'm glad she got another opportunity. But I think we need to clean it up a little bit. And I think if she cleans it up, she's going to go a little bit farther.
Get a little sharper with those arms. Like just be really confident with those moves. And then I think that will give her a little bit more of that wow factor.
Yep, we love seeing her have fun.
Totally.
Okay, up next we had Scott and Riley. Now this was a dance a lot of people were excited about. Sharpay and Ryan, they danced to Bop to the Top from High School Musical. I mean, a lot of people already, wow, things are falling from the ceiling now. A lot of people already they wanted them to do this dance. And let me tell you, Scott continues, I mean, he's always been a favorite of mine since day one. He continues to prove everybody wrong and just shows out with a whole new wow factor, a whole new side of fun. The arms here at the end I did were a little bit messy. That I think could have just been cleaned up or just done something different. But the personality that they brought through, the story that they told, Riley got her flowers for her choreography. The judges were very complimentary of her choreography.
Yes.
So I'm very happy for her, and I'm very happy for them. They were wildly underscored.
Agreed.
They got, I think it was all 7s. I wrote it down. Yep, all 7s, and I wrote in all caps, where are the 8s?
Yes.
Because, oh my gosh, I
They've
cannot
been
believe
so
they got
hard
7s.
on him. And some weeks I've thought that criticism was fair, but other weeks, especially like with last week and this week, I just feel like, well, last week he got better scores, but I think he should have been scored like that this week, and that wasn't the case.
100%. It was such a fun dance. It's so unique.
Yeah.
And they really leaned into the storytelling. I had so much fun with them.
Totally.
I always have so much fun with them.
It took me right back to the movie, which I loved. And the choreography was, spot on, perfect. It also had good salsa content. That was something that I heard the judges say, that it incorporated some of those elements that kind of remind you of the movie, but it also, that didn't mean that they were lacking at all in terms of the salsa content, which is good. But yeah, he did have that little mess up in the second half. I feel like he just kind of lost a little bit of steam towards the end.
Totally.
With those arms, it was just a little chaotic there at the end. But other than that, I loved the dance. I just think that he is going to continue to be pretty harshly criticized by the judges. I can't see that changing.
I don't get it. I have a lot of questions for the judges. What is wrong with him? Like,
Seriously.
I think that dance, because he got scored the exact same as Danielle, which was the dance before him. How are those two dances equal?
Agreed.
In my opinion, in my eyes, those dances are not equal.
Totally.
One bit. And I thought this all season. I don't get it. Scott, I'm your biggest fan.
Yes,
so I
do.
just hope that
They're
the
just such a
judges see
sweet
and
pair.
the votes keep, pushing them forward.
Totally. Yeah, I agree. he's going to have a breakthrough moment. I can just feel it, and I think it's coming. But until that happens, I think he's just going to, he's going to keep hearing it from the judges. So let's move on, but excited to see them again next week. So Alex and Val, next couple up. This dance, I loved this dance, I have to tell you. When I watched this for the first time, I was mesmerized. I love what they did in the beginning where she was kind of controlling him. I thought that her, just everything from her facial expressions to her movements, everything was sharp, it was crisp, it was just, everything was on point to me. Her facials, she really played this part so well. And I feel like she, not that she necessarily, looked like she was the pro, but she really just proved herself here. It was just, she was confident. I didn't sense any kind of nerves from her, which I think is with a dance like that, especially with this style, is not easy to do. And I agree with Derek. It was just mesmerizing. It was magical. I think it deserved all 9s. She did not get, she only got 1 9, right? With the scores?
I think she got all 8s.
All 8s?
Maybe I'm wrong though.
Okay. Maybe she didn't get all 8s. I think that deserved a 9.
Yeah.
At least 1 9 in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like this was her first dance that she actually took control. And she wasn't following Val. I feel like in the past, she's kind of really, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to follow the guy and follow his lead. But I think this time around, she really took the lead and really owned her role. And I love to see the serious side of her. I thought that was a side we hadn't seen before. And I'm obsessed with it. I think we need to see more of that because you could tell, just like you said, the confidence really shined through. And it wasn't the Val show. It wasn't the Val and Alex show. It was the Alex show. And I think that's what she needed. And she has had so many amazing moments. But I feel like that moment, to be able to see her do, such a versatile dance, I absolutely loved it.
I completely agree. I think that was her best dance that she's had on the show so far. That spin that she did too, was the spin move that they did towards the end, was amazing. I loved it. They were also just very in sync. You could just tell they're just a very strong partnership. Those two, I think, just really click, and that's such a strength for her moving forward in this competition, because sometimes I think if you look weird with your partner, I think that really makes it difficult. Yeah, people can tell, but I think they have such a strong bond, those two, and a good partnership. So I loved that dance. I think it was great. And I think she's gonna, I still think she's gonna be in the finale.
I think so too. I would say final 3 for sure. I mean, she has so many fans. I think Dancing with the Stars said there was over 40 million votes yesterday.
And that is all because of the TikTok influence.
TikTokers. 100%. I think she's a big part of that. And I love to see that Dancing with the Stars is getting so much traction. It's amazing. I think she's a big part of that, and her votes are really going to take her
Especially for the last couple of years, where I think people have been a bit critical about, whether it's the hosts or just the contestants. People have always found something to nitpick, but this is just such a good season in terms of the contestants. And and then obviously all the social media, I think, influence has done so well for the show. So it's bigger than, they say it's bigger than it's ever been, which I kind of agree.
I could agree with. I feel like we have so many people that we hear that are like, we're big fans, and I'm like, tell me everything you know about the show.
We love talking about it.
We love talking about it. So that's why we do this. We talk about it all the time. All right, so as we move on, we're going to move on to Hilaria and Gleb. Now, spoiler alert, Hilaria did go home this episode, but it was time. She needed to go home. I'm sorry, Hilaria. It was time. I think her dance was great. She did, what was it, a quick step? And I did really like the song. I think the content was great. I think it was a classic quick step. But she's just so good because she has that ballroom experience. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a really fun dance. She's very talented. I was engaged, but she doesn't even have that wow factor. Despite being, have that experience as a dancer, I'm missing the wow factor. I'm missing something extra. I feel like she's just going through the motions. Hence why I think she got voted off. I just don't think the voters and the fans really saw her as somebody who was going farther.
Totally.
And I think it was time. I think it was well overdue because she has that experience. It was not fair, in my opinion, to have her on the show with the ballroom experience, because she looks like another pro out there. We said it, I think, every episode now. So I'm very happy she went home. I'm happy that the others stayed. So I did like her dance though. I don't think she's had a bad dance. So I won't hate on her. I think she's worked very hard, but it was time.
Yeah, agreed. It was nice to see them side by side more. She moves so well. I agree. I do think that you could make that argument though for like Whitney too, which maybe she doesn't have as much ballroom, but she moves so well because she has so much dance experience. So I do agree with you on that though, and I think that's something that people didn't love. And that's also why she went home, I think, versus Andy, because Andy is truly like a beginner, no experience, where she has that experience. I just don't think that she had enough of something to really kind of make her stand out with the audience, with the fans. And that was really what came down to it. She did not go home because she was a bad dancer. She went home because she wasn't going to win the popularity contest that the show has become, in a sense. She didn't have the votes. And even though she got, what were her scores? I didn't get to see.
Oh, she got 878. So she got pretty good scores.
Yeah, so she did not go home because, and like the judges, I did listen to the judges' responses and they loved her. Yeah, they really like her. Derek said that it didn't have enough quick step, I think, which I kind of agree with, but I think overall the content, the choreography was good. Again, she just didn't have America's vote.
Nope, she was not a fan favorite, that's for sure, and I think that puts it a little bit lightly.
And you have
I
to
don't
have
think
that.
Gleb helped her either, though. I think Gleb had some bad PR around him in the off season.
Yes.
So I think we saw this coming in the off. Can we call it the off season?
I think so. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was time.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Glad that they're, not glad. I don't know. I feel bad saying that, but she went home and
if you look on social media, unless you've been living under a rock when it comes to Dancing with the Stars, you know that a lot of people wanted Hilaria to go home. And mainly because of her experience, but also just because they just don't relate to her, I think, with, she's a mom, she's got all the kids and everything. And I liked her story. It was really impressive. I find her very impressive, but she just didn't have that thing that really like pulls the audience in and makes them want to vote for her every single week. So
absolutely.
We won't see them anymore, but I'm not
that
sad
mad about it.
Yeah.
We're not mad about it. Sorry, Hilaria. It's more so Gleb though, but that's okay. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. And also moving on to the next couple, which people I think are still really excited to have around, is Andy and Emma. I will say, love the Ratatouille theme. He's just he's like an actor in a sense, so I think he plays that role so well. But with what did I write? He's doing his best. He's doing his best, right? So again, I said it last week. I said it. I'll say it again this week. I don't think we're going to see much more from him than what we're seeing now. I think he's kind of reached his peak, and he's still. It's kind of the same things. He's not the best dancer. His movement in this dance was pretty good. I mean, quite a bit of movement for him. But I just think it was a little bit underwhelming in a sense. His dancing isn't the best. He's very likable. I think this has to be his last week because once we get to next week, there's not another couple that I think is justified to go home over him. So I think this has to be his last week. But
I agree with you.
I'm happy that Hilaria went home over him. I just think that it's a show about dancing, and the dancing's just not there.
I agree. I think it's going to be his time this next week. I think if it's not, then wow, he has a lot of votes. First of all, because then that's purely
but then
votes.
People are going to start getting pissed because there's other couples that deserve to stay.
Exactly. However, that was a Vietnamese waltz, and for a Vietnamese waltz, that was pretty darn good.
It was.
I was very impressed with his dance skills for the Vietnamese waltz. I agree with you. I love the dance and the Ratatouille themed. I think that really was on his side. Just capturing the audience and getting people to love him all that much more. And compared to past older contestants, he moves really well.
I totally agree.
So I'm trying to give him, his
some
flowers
grace,
that he deserves, because he's clearly working hard.
Yes.
And I do see it paying off. I do see him getting a little bit better every week, but just compared to the rest of the cast, I mean, he is down here and everybody else is up here. I hate to say it.
It's been amazing to see his growth. I love that. I mean, everybody loves him. He's just, you can tell that he has worked hard. He's had such a great time on the show, and that's why he stayed up until this point. Because typically, the older contestants have a hard time making it far in the show because their dancing does not stand out among, better dancers, typically younger celebrities. So I think this has got to be your last week, Andy, but I'm glad that you're still here. I loved the dance. It was good. I just love watching the people that are such good dancers. So
so I don't know. I think he had a lot more dancing content compared to last week, which I appreciate. But it's just still, we're missing something. Andy, I'm sorry, but
Agreed.
I think next week's gonna be it. But if it's not, then we'll have some more hot takes. So you guys want to keep tuning in?
I won't be very happy about that, but we'll wait. We'll wait until that happens.
Exactly. All right, so let's move on to the next dance. We're going to go to Robert and Whitney. Okay, so this is a hot take. Last week, I think we were critical of Robert as well. I think he came out in his first dance, week 1, just so impressive. Jaw-dropping impressive, and I think he put that target on his back and that expectation on his back. He hasn't lived up to it. I didn't like this dance. I didn't like it at all. I think he looked kind of awkward. I don't think he moves his body very well. He seems just a bit stiff to me, in my opinion. I also just think, I don't know, it's a Zootopia. They were calling him Robert Furwin. It was weird. I don't know why don't know why he came down on a pole.
Yeah.
He comes down on a pole
What is
to
going
start
on?
the dance
Honestly,
off.
what is going on?
And I'm like, what are we trying to do here with
Yeah.
the pole? And then he starts dancing, and then Whitney boops his nose. And I'm just like, what? Their relationship's
so many
a little
weird-
awkward to me. The dance, it just didn't have the wow factor. And I think since he had such an amazing dance week one, we know his capabilities. We need to be wowed every week,
Yeah.
just like the other amazing dancers
Totally.
have been doing for us. And he has not been wowing me, I'll be honest.
Yep, I completely agree. The most widespread criticism that I've seen, or like the most common criticism that I've seen on social media, is that Whitney needs to challenge him more, and I completely agree. I think that a lot of their dances, she's moving quite a bit, and I think in the first week we really got to see a lot of him, and I don't think that it's really the dances have really spotlighted him as much. So he needs to be challenged more. That's number one. I'm not a fan of the song. I was not a fan of that song choice.
No.
I've never seen Zootopia, so maybe I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not a fan for a cha-cha. I think the song was just weird. Didn't like the choice.
How is that a cha-cha? I didn't see the cha-cha move.
I don't know.
He did the one, this move,
Yeah.
and like barely moved his body.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
like,
kinda
is that
weird.
the cha-cha? I didn't get it.
Agreed.
at
If
all.
you think back to some of the other cha-chas that have been done in previous weeks, that just did not. So choreography was underwhelming. Just was not a fan of it. And I'm being really critical, but I just know, I know Whitney can do more. I know that he is capable of so much more. She needs to challenge him. He does better with those faster movements. That dance was a little bit more, he needed to be a little more smooth and focus on the technique a little more. So it just wasn't for me.
But I think with the cha-cha, there was potential to do
There
faster
was.
movements, and
And
for that to really
that
be
song choice
his
just screwed him
dance.
over.
The song choice screwed
Where
him
was
over.
like the Lion King
don't
or,
know.
Tarzan
Yeah.
or something? I don't know.
I feel like Disney night, we missed a bunch of good songs. But
Yes.
maybe that's just us because we're not like
I
fully
know.
Disney
We don't make
dolls.
the choices, obviously.
I don't
but
know, and I'm
yeah.
sorry for Zootopia fans. I know my college roommates are huge Zootopia fans, so
Okay.
they might think differently about that. But
right.
I just was not a fan, and I think we can be critical because we have such a high expectation of him because we know what he's capable of. So I think it's fair to say. Now his scores, I do think reflected the dance well. He got a 7, 7, and an 8.
Okay.
Which I think was very fair scoring from the judges.
Yeah, I'm glad that because the judges clearly love him. I think especially Derek. Derek really likes him.
Yep.
So I'm glad that they're not giving him, overscoring him when he should be being judged just as harshly as the other contestants.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that he can really come back to what he was week one.
Me too.
I hope maybe next week, dedication night.
Yes.
Maybe he'll really tap into something. Maybe we'll see some
I
crocodiles.
think so. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so because that's what everybody remembers. Well, Dancing with the Stars fans will probably remember Bindi's dance that she did on dedication night, and I think that was really Bindi's breakthrough moment. And I think everybody's just waiting to see when he's going to have his breakthrough moment. So I think we could definitely see that next week. And yeah, challenge him more, Whitney, please. I want to see. Yeah, I want to go back to feeling like how we did the first week when we were like, that's our winner.
Yep.
And we haven't had that.
We're rooting for him. He's
Yeah.
still our winner. I think he's still a winner. I think Whitney's a close second now.
Yes.
So I don't know. We'll
Yep.
see what happens.
It's going to be competitive, no doubt.
Yes, no doubt.
So let's move on to the next couple, Elaine and Alan. This was a quick step to Space Mountain, which, by the way, I love this ride at Disneyland, so I liked the dance. Holy lights again.
Yes, she always has the lights.
Yes, very distracting in my opinion. But everybody said, well, it's Space Mountain, and this is, there's a lot of lights in the ride, so I guess I can understand it. Great choreography. That does not look like Alan.
No, not at all.
That was, but yeah, I will say that kind of weirded me out a little bit. But I know that the props to the people that do the makeup and the special effects because wow. A lot of really fun moves in there, like that split that he did. And I just think it wasn't my favorite dance of hers.
Really?
I don't know. I can't pinpoint exactly what I didn't love about it. Maybe it was just like the vibe of the dance I just wasn't really clicking with, but I mean, she moves so well. I have to give her that. She is just, we've said it every week, she's a natural. I think it was just more the dance itself, like just the theme of it that I didn't really love, but there was good choreography and she's a good dancer. I have to give her that.
I think the biggest issue with that was I don't think a quick step matched that song choice.
No.
Again, the song choices.
Yeah,
I don't
come
get
on.
it. I think they
Come
were
on.
kind of screwed on these
Totally.
song choices.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just our opinion again. I don't know. I think it was still fun. I kind of have to disagree on not loving the dance. I love this dance. I thought it was very fun for her. Obviously not one of her more like personality fun type of dances, but I do think that she really showed that like she can dance. I think she had great content in there, and I thought that she did all the quick step moves very cleanly, which I think is what I've been looking for, because I feel like she's done a lot of, side by side, and her personality has really kind of drawn me in versus her dancing, whereas this time I feel like it was totally her dancing that drew me in, which I actually really loved, and I think the judges loved it too. I mean, she got all 8s, which is very impressive. I think that's her highest score that she has yet. I think she was towards the top of the leaderboard. I think she was top 3, I might be wrong, but I'd have to look back on that.
Which is a huge comeback from being in the bottom 3 last week. So true.
Right, but
maybe it's just her being in hold more that I'm just we're not used to seeing as much. So I felt like, she maybe looked a little bit more nervous, but I think it's also just the last couple of weeks she's been able to have so much fun and show so much personality. So this is just a different, so maybe that's why I feel the way that I do. But I also only watched the dance one time. So maybe if I went back, I'd have like different thoughts or opinions.
I think she's creeping into a favorite though. I think she's creeping into a potential for a solid run. I don't think she'll go all that much further. But
I think
if she were to go home,
right on the cusp of the finale.
Yes, if she were to go home within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I think I'd be upset. I think she would be robbed by that.
Totally.
So.
I want to see more from them. I know that, and Alan is
I love
great.
Alan.
Yeah, he's awesome. So love to see him stick around too. I do not want them to go home for several more weeks. I completely agree. I think that she could also, I'm waiting to see her kind of big breakthrough moment too. So I'm excited to see more from them. Yes. But this next couple.
Oh, this was something. Okay, Whitney and Mark. I mean, I'm biased. I'm a big Hamilton fan.
Yes, we both are.
Yes, huge Hamilton fans. So I already knew this was going to be amazing. I mean, Whitney is the most consistent dancer on this show, and Mark's choreography to this dance, I mean, truly amazing. I think this is going to go down as one of the best dances in Dancing with the Stars history. Maybe that's my bias for Hamilton showing up, but they danced to the room where it happens, and everything about it, they really just told a story. I loved this part where the arms, I mean, it's just so creative. I think that Mark really incorporated her and her skills very well, and just the storytelling throughout it all. That was the ending there. I mean, I was speechless.
Seriously.
That was beautiful.
It was.
She hit every move so hard and so well, and the fact that she was able to do that so cleanly and tell a story with a unique remix. I think I saw Mark remix that himself actually, which is very impressive. So I'm a big fan. I mean, I think if she keeps performing how she's performing, and Robert keeps performing how he's performing, I think she's going to be our winner.
Agreed. Yeah, she is such a standout. Honestly, she's a natural, no nerves, 100% confidence. That's one of the, I put like a star next to that note, because I think that's where she really stands out among other. I am usually, when I'm watching these dances, I'm kind of looking to see, one of the big things that I'm looking to see is like, do they seem really nervous, or are they confident? Are they, do they know this dance, and are they then able to really get into it because they're not letting their nerves hold them back? She does not let her nerves hold her back. Even with like her week 1 dance, which was like a tango, I think it was like a more difficult dance. She is just, you can just tell she knows it. She knows she's good, and it completely shows through. Her arms were gorgeous. The end, like you said, with those unique moves at the end, that's kind of what did it for me with that dance. I just loved it. I feel like it just kept getting better as it went on, and her frame is excellent. But overall, that dance just really captured the essence of Hamilton, which was something that with some of those dances throughout the night, I didn't really love it, but I think it was perfect, and that's why everybody's, so big on Mark's choreography, because it incorporated so many of those moves that you felt like you were watching, honestly, a scene from Hamilton.
I mean, they kind of just encapsulated Hamilton into 1 minute and 15 seconds in a dance, which that's impossible, but they kind of did it.
A 3-hour show.
Insane.
Right?
Yeah, it was insane. It was so good, and I love the note about the confidence. You're so right. And I think also what really helps her is she just leans into the experience, leans into the weirdness. She's not afraid to look weird. She's not afraid to look dumb.
Yeah, she's just her. She's just being herself.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care what any of you people think of me. I'm just having a fun time.
And that's what people resonate with in the fans, the audience. They just love that about her. Now, she's not everybody's cup of tea, as we know from how she's famous. Which,
if we're on a different reality show.
Yes, but I think that a lot of people have said, I didn't really like her. I don't like her reality TV side. Maybe they don't like her TikTok side, but they love her on this show. I think that she was just meant for this, and she's got like probably the best male pro.
Oh,
So,
by far, yeah, the best. I mean, and I'll be honest, going into this, I was like, oh, Whitney, she was the villain in Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which is the reality TV show that kind of brought her to her stardom.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the biggest fan going into it, and I was like, oh, she's really good. I don't want her to be that good, but
I
she's
think
so
a lot
good.
of people think that way.
And I've learned to fall in love with her.
Yes,
You
me
can't
too.
deny it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
So good
and
for
I
her.
just love when, kind of like with Charli D'Amelio, like you just get so excited to see their dances because you know that the choreography is going to be difficult and the dances are going to be really good. So but we just have to continue to expect more and more from her because we know she's good. Mark needs to continue to challenge her to stand out.
Absolutely,
So, yeah.
absolutely.
All right, let's move on to our next couple. We've got two left. Jordan and Ezra this week, they did a quick step to I thought this was from Princess and the Frog, but I think it was actually a song that they play on the Disney ride, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I will say I love Princess and the Frog. I feel like they should have done Almost There, not this song. You can tell that she's picking up the technique, and I thought that this dance was super fun, but I feel like she was holding back just a little bit in comparison to last week. I think she looked maybe a little more nervous, which that's just being overly critical because she's still a great dancer, but especially this ending part, I don't know, something about the dance just felt like these
The roofs are crazy.
Oh man, this is really throwing off her vibe.
Yes. I think that I agree with you. I think she had a great dance. I mean, the footwork was great, the choreography was great. I just don't think it's her.
Yeah.
I don't think she's the type of person to put on a princess dress.
No.
I mean, she is like, give me the hard hitting. Like last week, we saw her in like the dark makeup, the dark dress, like about anxiety, like just letting out her anxiety and telling a story with that. Whereas this was like prance around in a princess dress.
Yes.
No hate to that. I mean, I'm in my pink. I love my pink.
Yeah.
And I love princesses and everything.
I think just the song for a quick step too, it didn't go for me.
The music choice again.
Yes, again.
Clearly that's
the music
a common
choice
theme.
really makes or breaks a dance. And there were a couple dances, as we've said, throughout the night that just they completely threw me off because of the song choice. So was not a fan of it. But I think that, I don't know how much the pros and the celebrities, like how much say they have in the song choice. Maybe sometimes they don't always get they just work with what they have. Yeah. So I think that Ezra's still doing a good job with the choreography.
Totally.
It just was not my favorite dance. And I think my expectations for them were so high after last week, and this just didn't do it for me.
And she got all 8s, which was pretty high scoring for the night.
Right.
So, I mean, kudos to her.
She's good.
She's great.
Yeah.
And she's going to go far in this competition. But compared to last week, I agree. Just didn't do much for me, but it was a phenomenal dance. Had a lot of fun watching it.
Agreed. All right, let's wrap this up.
Wrap it up. The final dance of the night, we had Jen and Jan. Now, this is going to be, forgive me, Aladdin? Is this right, Aladdin?
Yes.
Okay, I'm like, I think it was Aladdin.
Yes.
But they did a jazz. So, again, last week, Riley and Scott had a jazz, and we were like, I don't know how you can score jazz versus ballroom dancing. I think it was a very fun dance. I think that it was much better than her previous dances. I think we're finally starting to see her get a little bit more comfortable. She's acting a little bit more. She's making some, more facial expressions. She's having fun with it. But it just, I was confused why this was the final dance of the night.
Yeah.
I think there were better dances to end on. And I've said it once and I've said it again. I just think that Jan is her disadvantage. I just think the choreography, something about it, there's some moments in certain lifts or like that front walkover. I mean, it just slows the whole dance down.
And I think that that's why there's so many lifts and tricks in the dance is because he knows his choreography is lacking a little bit. Yeah. So he's trying to almost add some kind of wow factor to their dance with all these crazy tricks. Yeah. But it just completely messes up the flow. And needed more jazz content. I think that's what Carrie Ann said. It was just, we know she's critical of the lifts, but I completely agree with her on that dance. It was cute. It was fun. The dances are too safe. And I think it's because Jan is not really that comfortable with kind of being out there with his choreography. So I think that she would have such a better shot in this competition because I'll be honest, I don't think that she's going to be in the finale. I think she'd have a much better shot if she was really, just going for it with her dances, but the dances are too safe in my opinion. She needs to be pushed more.
Safe is a great word to use for them. That, I'm so glad you said that word. That is the perfect word to describe Jen and Jan, is safe. It's not bad. It's not great.
Nothing stands out.
It's just, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't know what more to say.
And I love her too. So I really want to see more with her dances. It's just we're not getting it.
Right. I've seen better dances from her. That wasn't my favorite. So I don't think that was a good, song or good dance to end the night on. But nonetheless, let's see. They got a 7, an 8, and an 8. So I mean, they were scored better than Scott and Riley. Sorry, I'm going back to Scott and Riley.
No, seriously.
Wildly underscored.
Yeah.
I don't see how that was better than Scott
Clearly,
and Riley's.
we agree, which I think a lot of people tend to agree with the judge's opinion sometimes. And so I think, Scott and Riley, I don't know why they're judged so harshly.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Jen goes home in the next couple of weeks.
I know. I don't want to say it.
Even
but
Jan's technique is just not really there. So also, did you feel a little weird seeing him in the Aladdin getup?
It didn't look like him.
Yeah,
again.
it was
just like how
crazy.
Alan in the green didn't look like Alan.
Yeah, which
that
I know
didn't
it's
look
not
like
supposed
Jan.
to. I mean, seriously, kudos to the special effects
Yeah.
makeup people, but
Amazing. Oh my gosh. But nonetheless, Disney night was a very fun night in the
It was
ballroom.
fun.
I think they do this. They do it mostly every year. I feel like they do, but this was to celebrate the 70th anniversary. So it was a big night. It was a fun night. Again, so many wow factor dances, but also some dances where we're starting to see people just plateau. So
I can't wait for dedication night though. I think this is, I said it earlier, but this is really a night that some celebrities have their breakthrough moments, and it's where they really set themselves apart in this competition. So, because they get to have kind of more control over the dance and what that dance looks like, because it's supposed to be, who are they dedicating it to? How does it relate to their life? So I'm really excited.
they get to emotionally connect with the dances, which I think is why it is such a big breakthrough moment for a lot of different people. So that'll be next week. Zac Efron apparently might make an appearance. Who knows who else will make an appearance?
I can't wait for that. The fact that you told me that, now I'm so excited.
Wasn't that crazy? I was like, okay.
I've been waiting for the day that one of these episodes that they showed him in the audience. Yeah, and that hasn't happened yet. So I'm pretty excited.
I think it's going to be a fun week next week. It'll be interesting to see who goes home. We're down to 10 couples.
10 couples.
10 couples.
Yes.
So the season's flying by. We're having a lot of fun though with it.
It is.
And we got to talk about our decorations.
Absolutely, yes.
Forgot to address that at the beginning.
Ignore the construction sounds.
Yes.
Focus on our beautiful table that was decorated by one of the gals who's working behind the scenes on the show, our producer Brielle. She got these lights. I mean, the only thing I've contributed is the mirror ball. She contributed all the other disco balls.
I'm here having fun. But yeah. We're having a good time.
We had to shout her out though because she decorated this, and we're gonna get some other stuff in here.
Hopefully, that's a goal. I mean, you guys might see us in ball gowns next time. Who knows? We'll have to
We're
wait
just
and
gonna
see.
keep raising the stakes like the celebrities do.
Yes, but in all seriousness, we are having a lot of fun with this. We appreciate all of you guys who watch and tune in every week. And as always, reach out to us. We want to hear your thoughts. Let us know what you're thinking. Feel free to disagree with us, agree with us, whatever your heart desires. We want to hear it all.
Yeah, there can never be enough discussion about Dancing with the Stars. At least not in our books. Clearly, that's why we're doing this.
Yes.
So thank you for watching. We will see you back here next week for Dedication Night.